those are eaten by fish, and the invertebrates and the fish are eaten by belugas. So any loss of that sea ice cover means an impact to the food chain, and therefore an effect on both belugas and people in the Arctic. So far today we've been focusing on the far north. It's time for us to move a little bit further south now. Is anyone here visiting us from Ontario or Quebec today? Okay, maybe one of you, at least one of you, maybe two or three of you. If you live in one of those provinces, you probably don't rely on belugas for food value like people in the Arctic do, but you may rely on them for economic value. And that's because there are a number of small whale watching companies operating in the St. Lawrence River, watching out for belugas. And while you have to time it pretty well to see a beluga tail walking in the St. Lawrence River, it is very possible to see a beluga floating about gently in the river. And while that might not look like a whole lot to us, it showcases something that's very important to scientists, which is the beluga's dorsal ridge. It's that cartilaginous ridge that runs partway down the beluga's backs. And those of you upstairs are getting a good comparison opportunity between the two dorsal ridges on these belugas, which are different from one another. And that is the case for every single beluga that exists. So just as your fingerprints are distinct from every other person on the planet, so the belugas have a distinct dorsal ridge, and scientists can tell them apart in this way. Belugas in the St. Lawrence face a lot of different kinds of challenges than belugas in the Arctic do, because they do live near some of Canada's most populated areas. They're not in remote locations. So one of the biggest threats to them is water pollution, which is in the waterways and can also get into the beluga's food sources. A lot of different day-to-day activities that we participate in can have an impact on belugas and other animals living in our freshwater and ocean ecosystems, like using harsh chemicals to clean our homes, for example. It's for this reason that the Vancouver Aquarium recently started the Ocean Pollution Research Program. It's aimed at learning more about the sources of this water pollution, the impacts of this water pollution on animals like belugas, and most importantly, what we can do about this issue. We are hoping that this work will be able to be used to protect belugas in their natural environment and other animals too, like killer whales and harbor porpoises. But the work that takes place with the belugas simply could not happen without the relationship that the trainers develop with them. And to share with us more, over to you, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Maddie. I'm over here giving you folks all the waves so everyone can see where my voice is coming from. Thanks for waving back. Now today I'm working with the beautiful Aurora, and I am incredibly fortunate to be building a strong relationship with her. Now, of course, our number one priority whenever we're working with the belugas is always their health care. With our very strong and trusting relationships, we're able to provide them with the best possible care through voluntary medical behaviors, which are known as animal husbandry. For example, right now I've asked Aurora to present to me the side of her body. Now I'm going to ask her to present her belly, or the ventral side of her body. And from layouts like this, I can look and feel her all over, make sure that she is nice and healthy. Now we can also take this a step further and do some more advanced animal husbandry, like asking for a voluntary ultrasound or even a voluntary blood sample. And that way we can ensure that Keela and Aurora are just as healthy on the inside as they are on the outside. Now, we wouldn't be able to provide them with this top level of care without the very strong and trusting relationships that we share with the belugas, and we work to build on that every day. Now, of course, it's also only through these relationships that we're able to participate in really meaningful research projects as well. So I'll just kind of tell you a little bit more about one such project that's kind of ongoing with the beluga whales here at the aquarium, and that's what we call a chuff study. So a chuff is basically a forceful exhale out of the blowhole. It sounds very similar to this. There you go. Kind of like a sneeze or a cough is to us. Now, I can actually collect a sample of the mucus that's inside of Aurora's blowhole just by holding a small collection plate like a petri dish or a little cup just over top of that. That gives you a nice sample of that mucus. Now, within about an hour or so of collecting that sample, I would also ask for either an ultrasound or a blood sample. Now, our researchers have a couple of different types of data that they can analyze and hopefully find similarities. Now, the goal is that they might be able to detect things like hormone levels, maybe even get a DNA sample, just from the mucus that's inside a beluga whale's chuff. Now, the great thing about this project is that although we can get information like DNA and stuff like that from trained belugas like Keela and Aurora, here at the aquarium we can't get that kind of information. We can't really ask for an ultrasound or a blood sample from a beluga out in the ocean. But it is very possible for researchers to collect a chuff sample or a mucus sample from those belugas out in the ocean simply by holding a collection plate over top of a passing, breathing beluga. So the more information we can get out of that mucus, the more we're going to be able to understand and in turn protect the belugas, not only Keela and Aurora, but also belugas out in the ocean as well. I'm going to pass it back to you there, Maddie.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Let's give Kevin and Aurora a big round of applause for sharing that with us today. As you can see, having belugas at the Vancouver Aquarium allows us to learn more about them through research, and the more that we know about them, the more we can protect them out in the ocean. Having them here also gives people like us the chance to develop a connection with these whales that otherwise we may not have the opportunity to do or experience. Has anyone here ever seen belugas in their natural environment before? Nope, it doesn't. Okay, one of you, just one of you in a group of this size. So that gives you an idea of how special it is to have belugas here. And I know that for myself working at the aquarium, I love watching these belugas learn new things, as well as hearing all the different sounds that they're able to create. Let's give Keela a big round of applause for this vocalization. I told you it was pretty cool. Just a quick reminder, we do need everyone to stay back behind those dots that go around the habitat for the show, so if we can get parents to help out with that, that would be great. Today we have been chatting a lot about the challenges that belugas face in their natural environment, both in the Arctic and in the St. Lawrence River, but we would like to affirm lots of the small changes we're sure you're already making to help these whales. Things like turning off the lights when you leave a room or unplugging electronics when you're not using them. But we would like to challenge you to think bigger, in fact to think beluga-sized changes that you can make to help these whales. Things like buying more locally grown or produced products to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, or even using more environmentally friendly cleaning products in our homes. If you leave with nothing else today, though, we do hope that you will leave with the sense that our lives and the lives of these belugas are connected to one another. So, on behalf of Keela and Aurora, trainers Indy and Kevin, and myself, Madeline, thanks for coming out today, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your visit this afternoon. Thank you again for joining us for our 3:30 and final beluga show. If you have any questions, then I'd love to chat with you, so